On a hot summer's day in northern Georgia, there are few places more inviting than Lake Lanier. The water is a brilliant, shimmering blue, reflecting the deep green of the pines that line its sprawling 692-mile shoreline. Dozens of boats cut white wakes across its surface, pulling water skiers and jubilant children on inflatable tubes. Families picnic on the shore, the air filled with the sounds of laughter and the smell of barbecue. It is, by all appearances, an American paradise. A triumph of engineering, created in the 1,950 seconds by the Army Corps of Engineers to provide hydroelectric power and recreation for Atlanta and the surrounding region. But if you watch the locals, the ones whose families have been there for generations, you might notice a certain hesitation. A way they look at the water not just with respect, but with a deep, lingering fear, because they know what lies beneath the idyllic surface. They know that this beautiful lake is really just a tomb. Before there was a Lake Lanier, there was a valley, and in that valley, along the banks of the Chattahoochee River, was a thriving, close-knit community called Oscarville. It was a town with churches, businesses, homes, and farms. But in the 1,950 seconds, the government decided this valley was the perfect place for a reservoir. The residents of Oscarville were bought out, forced to sell their land and move away, their history erased in the name of progress. As the dam was completed, the waters began to rise. They crept up the hillsides, swallowing fields, then barns, then houses. They submerged roads, storefronts, and front porches where families had sat for generations. And they also submerged the town's cemeteries. The official record says that the cemeteries were relocated, but the stories passed down through the years paint a much darker picture. They say the work was rushed, that corners were cut, that not all the graves were moved. Some were simply left behind, the headstones disappearing beneath the rising tide. To this day, boaters using advanced sonar get eerie, unmistakable readings from the lakebed. The ghostly outlines of entire farmhouses, submerged bridges, and stretches of road. Divers speak of swimming through forests of dead, skeletal trees still rooted to the ground, and of the sudden, heart-stopping moment when a church steeple or the roof of a barn emerges from the murky depths. Every person who swims in Lake Lanier is swimming over a ghost town. They are swimming over forgotten homes, lost memories, and, some say, the unmarked graves of people who were never given the chance to rest in peace. A body of water with a history that dark is bound to be haunted. The ground itself is disturbed, but the specific ghost that gave Lake Lanier its chilling reputation didn't emerge from the sunken town of Oscarville. It came from a tragedy that happened on the surface. In April of 1958, the lake was still relatively new. Two young women, Delia Mae Parker Young and Susie Roberts, were heading home from a dance. They were driving across the Jerry D. Jackson Bridge, a long concrete span that crossed a deep section of the new reservoir. And then, they vanished. Their car simply drove off the bridge and plunged into the pitch-black water below. For over a year, there was no trace of them. The families were left in an agony of not knowing. The lake was vast, and the technology of the time was limited. They searched, but the deep, murky water held its secret close. Then, in November of 1959, a fisherman spotted something floating in a remote cove. It was a body. After 18 months submerged in the cold, dark water, Delia Mae Parker Young had finally surfaced. The discovery was gruesome. The body was badly decomposed, but the most disturbing detail, the one that would fuel the legend for decades to come, was that she was missing her hands. The authorities never found Susie Roberts. Her body and the car remain at the bottom of Lake Lanier to this day, lost somewhere in the sunken landscape of a forgotten world. Shortly after Delia's body was recovered, the stories began. People driving over the Jerry D. Jackson Bridge at night started seeing something. A solitary figure of a young woman, wandering aimlessly across the bridge. She is often described as wearing a flowing dress, sometimes white, sometimes a spectral blue. Her form is hazy, indistinct, and she appears lost, her arms sometimes outstretched as if she is searching for something or someone. They call her the Lady of the Lake. Some accounts say she has no hands. Others claim she will follow your car for a short distance before fading away into the darkness. Fishermen and boaters have their own versions of the tale. They speak of seeing a strange, pale blue light glowing just beneath the surface of the water near the bridge, a light that seems to beckon them closer. Others have reported seeing a woman walking not on the shore, but on the surface of the water itself, her feet never breaking the tension before she sinks back down into the depths. Who is this ghost? Is it Delia May, forever searching for her friend Susie, who was never found? Is her lack of hands a ghostly echo of her body's condition when it was discovered? Or is the Lady of the Lake something older? Is she a collective spirit of the drowned town of Oscarville, a manifestation of all the souls disturbed and displaced by the lake's creation, who has simply chosen Delia's tragic form as her own? No one knows for sure. All they know is that she is there, a permanent fixture of the lake's dark history. A ghost story is one thing. It's easy to dismiss as folklore, a spooky tale to tell around a campfire. But the horror of Lake Lanier is not confined to the past. It is an active, ongoing threat. Since its creation, over 700 people have died in the lake. The number of drownings and boating accidents is so unusually high that it defies statistical probability. Many of these deaths are strange and unexplained. Experienced swimmers suddenly dragged under by an invisible force, boaters thrown from their vessels for no apparent reason. People talk about sudden, inexplicable cold spots in the water, even on the hottest days. But the most terrifying accounts come from those who nearly drowned but survived to tell the tale. They describe the same horrifying sensation. It's not just the panic of running out of air. It is the distinct and unmistakable feeling of being pulled down. They speak of feeling hands grab their ankles, of a powerful force holding them under, preventing them from reaching the surface. It is as if the lake itself, or something within it, is actively trying to claim them. Are these the hands of the Lady of the Lake, trying to pull someone down into the darkness with her? Or is it the restless dead of Oscarville, their graves disturbed, reaching up from the muddy bottom to claim the living who trespass on their sunken homes? Whatever the cause, the truth remains. The beautiful blue water of Lake Lanier hides a dark, hungry history. It is a place built on loss, haunted by tragedy, and it seems determined never to let the world forget it.